All right, welcome to day 35 of raising funds for world domination. So this is the series I've been doing recently, where I've been live streaming every day between projects. Yeah, I'll skip most of the regular intro, but since I have attended my hearing, I'm just waiting on the next hearing date, and for now I'm going to work on trying to get to the next release of the terminal-based block mining game. Through the day I'll work on some new videos, and also we're coming up on tax season, so I gotta work on that. Work on world domination plans, and doing a little bit of attendance on the renovation work as necessary. So we can pick up where we were yesterday. Actually, I think, yeah, it was last night that I was having some issue with the menu and the kind of the overlay, and I fixed that this morning. So let's take a look at it. Congratulations to Yoshikage Kira for being the first commenter. You've got a #1 by your username now. I clicked on that thing and it just says like it's something to do with I don't know, the algorithm figures out how much you contribute to the chat or something. I think it was something to do with it seemed to imply that it's like based on how much you chat, or it also mentioned something to do with super chats. So I think it's like I think it's some kind of gamification thing to like try and trick people into super chatting people more, which is kind of a dark pattern, really. Okay, so that menu covers that space, and if we go back, now the menu fixes itself and it's good. Excellent. Will we learn about your favorite Linux command? Okay, where does it, I guess, I'm not sure what the, I'd have to look at the actual YouTube UI. But it must, I just for fun, I decided to click on that goal thing. I never bother engaging with it, but I decided to set a goal just to try out the feature. And it asks for like, what'll you do if you reach the goal. So I just put, I'll say it says the goals in live chat. Okay, it's not in the stream via like video itself anywhere, is it? I don't think I'm missing it. It must be on the user interface on the side somewhere. The white button in your chat? Oh, okay. Top left corner. You'll, Seed Nisar says, you'll love your videos. Gonna move to Calgary. Yeah, I guess it's been a trend for years that the better Canadian economic conditions are in Calgary. I mean, if I was going to uproot and move somewhere new, I would not stay in Canada. I'd just leave entirely. But there's just lots of things to consider when moving somewhere. It's not just about like surviving the next 6 months. I got to think a lot longer term. Fair enough. We have cheap gas, no provincial tax on purchases, much better renting economy than BC. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere is better than Ontario. I think like the Mississauga, KW areas in Toronto is it's like one of the worst in the world at the moment. Poggers, what is the new crown icon? I guess it's I don't completely understand it. I've clicked on the some YouTube feature, gamify live chat. Yeah, I clicked on it. It said like it actually probably the text is also visible for you. It's probably the same text. It said like stand out in the live chat or something and participate, and it also mentioned super chats. So I guess it's something to like make people compete, but I have no idea how it's determined. Oh, look at that, Yoshikaj. Your ranking went down. You just got demoted. Google doesn't like your flippant description of move to Germany and collect Burgereld. Yep, you got demoted. You said something Google didn't agree with. It seems like the first thing you chat, it doesn't put something by your name. Oh, and I just noticed for Saeed Nisar, he went from rank 3 to rank 2. Universal basic income. Yeah, if we had a productive economy, maybe we could do that. I think the government may try to bring that in. And then what'll happen is every single landlord will just raise their rent by the exact amount of the basic income, and then no one will be able to afford anything again. Ryan says, hello there. How's it going? What is this about? So this is my daily live streaming that I've been doing for the last 35 days. And I'm currently doing work on a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. And I'm currently doing some changes to the UI. I was away for a while. Depends on how active you are. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't really know how to interpret this crown thing. It seems to changes too much for me to notice, or for me to like process the difference. Should really get a second monitor. Yeah, I need a lot of things. I need to be rich. That's the daily live streaming thing. I don't know if it's I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing this until I get the next release of the block game done. There's a few more major features that I want to finish, and then I'll have to revise. You know, what's the best revenue strategy? Because streaming requires like no effort, but I also like it because I can actually do a bit of work while I'm doing it. So it's like getting actually paid to build my own stuff, but of course, the longer form videos bring in all the money. But I don't know. It's really strange. I have some videos that are good and they get views, but it almost seems like YouTube like deliberately holds them back for some reason. And then later they'll just like suddenly start to pick up for no reason. I think it might actually have something to do with just like advertiser inventory. There's maybe less advertisers right now. But I don't know. But once I can get it, if I can get another big viral hit video, then that'll bring another surge of revenue in, and then I can buy lots of monitors. I went to work in a non-web dev job, but I don't see that there is anything that's good other than game dev. I'm not really into that. So what are the things that can pay well and are in demand? Actually, I'd first off even challenge the assumption that game dev is in demand. From what I understand in like in industry, if you go into industry game dev, from what I've understood, they like that's a very competitive industry because there's so many people that want to build games. So it's like lots of overtime and kind of like below industry standard pay. And then if you want to go into like indie game dev, that's like that's a really huge minefield of like, you know, the people who do that are really want to do it and are the people who are willing to tolerate years of poverty and, you know, really go against the grain of things. And it's you know, it's a if you achieve substantial success at it, it's kind of a miracle. The layout of the stream bothers me a bit. Oh, the UI. Yeah, I need to work on it, but I need to work on many things. Ugly Duckling says, "Hello, Robert." Yeah, because I didn't really answer your question about what other things are in demand. It's a good question. I know you could, if you know like fundamentals like C and C++ and stuff, you could also look into like embedded systems. Embedded systems is probably more. I also think that's an area that AI will probably not replace more of the like embedded systems, hardcore electrical engineering type stuff for quite a bit longer. Lots of fish in a small pond. Yeah, in relation to game dev, I assume. Galactic Pass says, "Hello, Robert. How's it going? What are the number 1 and number 2 crowns in the comment section?" It's some kind of algorithm that YouTube is using to like, I don't know, rank community members or something. I don't know how it works. Some people, like after a couple of chats, you'll get one of those. But I think it's like to rank people for how much they participate or something. And if you click that like up and if you go to the up in the corner here, over by where it says top chat, I think it has that on yours. If you click on that, I think it says something about like can participate in the chat to rank up, but it's also I think something to like make people do more super chats or something, which is kind of a dark pattern, I guess. To make people pay money to compete for like a stupid crown in the chat for a little while, let us go away. Dang, Bob, I didn't even get hello back. Oh, did I miss your chat? Do you prefer to go by Robert? Robert's pretty decent. It's memorable. I don't. I guess if you call me Bob, I probably won't know who you're talking to. I'm trying to start a microgreens business. Are you good at growing stuff or just computers? It's not really something I have expertise in. No. I know of there's like a shop down on like this like small indie shop that actually went into business. They started doing something like that in their store, and they had it for a while, and it didn't last long. I think they quickly got like some, I don't know, issues with mold or something, or I think also I guess what would be the business model? You sell them to restaurants or something? There's probably some regulations and stuff around like restaurants probably just can't get stuff from anywhere. There probably has to be some kind of quality assurance on the product. Interesting. So your crown went from a number 3 to a number 1 within one chat. So you had no crown. You're number 3, and then you're number 1. It's not clear to me how this system works. Some background music or something would be nice. What are you even doing anyway? I'm working on improving the menu, improving the user interface, so I can move around the frames of the user interface at runtime. This channel is my favorite channel. I have stand in other farmers markets. I have stand in other farmers markets. Because I am chatting the most. I have ADHD, so I'm annoying. Well, at least you have self-awareness. That's kind of an odd feature then, I guess, because like, so you are half of the chat is your chats, although there's not many other people saying anything right now, so it's not a big deal. Your chat rate is going up. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. I don't know if it's it makes sense to encourage people to just chat, because if the chats are not relevant, then it just becomes spamming. So YouTube is like encouraging people to spam. But I think in the community thing it says something about super chats. So it's like, I don't know, strange feature. So you just spam the chat to get number 1. But then if you're already number 1, then well, I guess maybe it's like just number 1 at this moment. Yeah, I guess it's probably like what they probably want people to do is like, so like I bet if someone else chats more, then they'll become number 1. Or if someone else like super chats something, then they'll become number 1. And then you're like, oh man, I'm number 2 now. Now I have to super chat even more money. And it's this thing to guilt trip everyone into giving more money. I don't think that's going to get you viewers, DK, though. I'm not a streamer. Yeah, I guess it's a new feature, so probably YouTube doesn't even understand what the implication of that thing is. They'll probably just roll it out for a while, and then you'll see like if revenue goes up, then we'll keep doing it. I never understand the point of chat with streamers, where chat messages are coming in hundreds per second. Yeah, I don't know. It's and at one point it almost becomes like it seems to distill down to people just like send emojis or something, and it would almost make sense. It almost makes sense to have like a histogram or something, like a histogram of emojis, where like you don't even have a chat, you just have like people press a button with like their emotion or like how they're feeling about the stream, and then there's like, there's like a, some kind of like one of those like bubble diagrams where like, whatever, it's the most popular emoji at that point, and you just like spam it harder to make, so like, communicate what you're thinking about the stream, because there's nothing intelligible in those emojis, or in like looking at hundreds of them. I made everything other than AI. Game dev, front end and mobile dev. Mobile dev was one of the things I stayed away from because I think it changes so much. There's like constantly new phones coming out, and you have to learn stuff over and over again. But having said that, I've been completely away from mobile dev for a long time. It used to be possible to do like kind of indie mobile dev, so you could like make your own app for a small business or something. I think that market is probably like pretty much gone now, and I think most of the money is going to be at like going to work at a big company somewhere for that stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you're earlier in your career, I think embedded systems might be like, I don't know if you have much electrical engineering background, but if you have any, then that would definitely be a good thing to consider. I think the longevity of that is going to be more than anything higher up in the stack. So all the popular stuff, yeah, AI. If you're taking AI off your list, you're skipping over one of the. That's where all the money's going today. I'm computer illiterate. Whatever it is you have on the screen looks like the matrix code. Oh, it's I guess probably even people who program would look at it and wonder like what they're looking at, because it's my own kind of esoteric code and long variable names. For those super popular streams, I think the chat rate number is supposed to be just an ultimate distillation of the chat, or bigger's better. Yeah, it's streaming is it's kind of like an interesting social phenomena. It's like I think it's more than just like broadcasting stuff. With the fact that more and more people watch it, and it's more the fact that everything is going online. There's there's a lot of interesting social dynamics to it that don't exist in everything we had before. I think he's hacking the mainframe. Yep. Can you imagine that in my university I only found one professor who knows Git? Wow. Are the other ones computer science professors? I would assume, in this day and age, I would assume basically like every person that seriously writes code would know Git. I guess there may be some. I guess I could see maybe like one that hasn't like worked on a team in like maybe 10 or 15 years. So if you don't have to work on teams, you could maybe use like SVN from years ago or something. But Git is pretty fundamental these days. Even when I was teaching, when I was teaching like 10 years ago, I found it kind of unbelievable that there were still lots of people that were didn't really know Git or didn't see the value in it. Although I have no clue what's going on, I do find this rather fascinating. Excellent. The YouTube algorithm is doing its job. How have you been lately? How are things going? Have you been watching anything good on TV? I haven't watched TV since 2007 or so. Most of the stuff I do watch is from YouTube. Yeah, what did I watch lately? I don't know, just some random news clips and stuff like that. Documentaries about what's going on in the world of geopolitics. This is my third year in computer science, and the only class worked on real life was SQL. And the only class worked on real life was SQL. I mean, like, was relevant to the real world. Yeah, SQL is definitely a useful thing to learn. This stream is very ASMR. Yeah, people have mentioned that, so I guess that's part of my appeal. Professors teach because they couldn't make it in the private sector. Yeah, that's my opinion. There's, I think I said that, I summarized that in my immigration video, that either they're good and they're willing to like, they're willing to forego the personal sacrifice of becoming rich just because they want to help the next generation and teach and stuff. But then there's also a lot that can't make it in the private sector. And there's some that are also attracted to the the kind of romanticized academic idea of like getting a PhD and stuff. And I need to think up a way to use AI, make some money. I don't know, it sounds like your business focus is pretty broad. If you're doing microgreens, but also AI. It's just like sports coaches. Coach because they weren't the best players, but they have in-depth knowledge of the game. Learn how to do AI tooling, consult, build for businesses. AI tooling like agents. I've been seeing a lot about MCP lately. Yeah, I don't have experience on this. I mean, I would also kind of wonder like who are the customers going to be. I think a lot of the people that want that and could pay for it are probably other businesses, and that falls into some of the same trap that I talked about in my videos on consulting. Is that the only people with money to pay you for this stuff are like established businesses. If you post an ad on, for like private to get like small businesses and stuff, the quality of leads will be terrible. Yes, there's DRS professors, and they will tell you they use Windows Server and calling Linux hard for the use in production. I mean, even Git has worked on Windows for actually I think I first started using Git on Windows back in like 2010 when I started using it. I've used AI to find code bots for Discord. I'm in my second year of CS. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess maybe are your professors all very old? Listen, Bobby, we have ideas we need to come to fruition. Well, I wish you the best of luck on the microgreens and AI business. Do you think AI will replace a lot of jobs in the tech industry moving forward? I think it definitely will replace some jobs, but I mean, a lot of the argument is that people say it'll replace jobs, but it'll also create a lot of new jobs, and I think that is true. But one issue with the AI though is because I think some of the bigger questions are not like whether jobs will go away, but like who will reap the benefits of work from now on. And I think AI is going to enable theft on a scale, like theft of intellectual property on a scale we've never seen before, I think. So the ability to, like, even if you do have a job, everything you output is going to be like vacuumed up by an AI. Some of them old, but mostly no. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm kind of surprised that more of them wouldn't know about Git. do you think getting a Red Hat certified, Red Hat certified, forget that, security, Red Hat certified security something? I can't remember the acronym. Yeah, people. Honestly, I should research this because personally, I have no like certificates or certifications, but people ask me about them quite a bit, and my response would be that any certifications that like, so if companies are asking for them, so if the jobs that you want, like if you see on LinkedIn, if they're asking for that specific thing by name, then and it's, you really want those jobs, then it probably was worth getting it. I have no idea. I don't know how much time it takes to get that certificate, but it's yeah, if it gets you the jobs, and I think the biggest impact of the certifications is about like checking a box. So it's not necessarily that it like teaches you the most advanced knowledge ever or something, or it means you have like a 200 IQ. It's all just about making sure that you can like check the boxes, kind of like if you had like to operate a forklift, you might have to have like a forklift lift certification, or to work with chemicals, you have to have the chemicals and stuff. Oh, this was the regarding latent. Oh, there's that spam. Oh man, I can't read this. Do you prefer linear commentator? This was the bot that showed up the other night. If you could knock that off, I'm gonna have to ban. Yeah, someone has a bot that they show up with. So I went back and I read the chats from that. And they said they posted some things claiming it was like an open AI test, but it's Vortex AI sends regards. Yeah, this is just nonsense spam. I'll have to ban them. right. Should make me moderator. I can play whack-a-mole. I don't get that too often. I noticed that phrase that they asked me to say that's the same one from last time. That was kind of just a nonsense message. The first time they were like, "This is a test from OpenAI of like testing learning part of it, OpenAI's learning process or something, reading your chat messages." But I kind of highly doubt OpenAI would actually post such invasive and obvious spam. I mean, maybe they would. I guess some random engineer might go to some small streams and test that, but what are your thoughts on things like Neuralink? To me, that's some pretty neat tech. Yeah, that's with the chip implants and stuff. I guess we'll have to see, because I know a real difficulty with that is actually getting the interface to like getting the physical chip to like if you actually put something foreign in the body will build up scar tissue, and so the actual signal exchange gets kind of compromised by that. So I don't know. I think that's one of the fundamental issues they have to overcome, but they seem to have a reasonable thing going. I mean, honestly, I've thought about that before, and I don't know if a lot of research, if they have a lot of research on like microscopic interfaces for things, because it really seems like where you have to, like, if you wanted to repair people's spinal cords and stuff, you'd have to do research into like, we have a lot of science to do precise engineering on semiconductors, and like when you're manufacturing them, you can do you can use like an ion beam or something to like, you know, carve out a tiny little channel or something. You can basically do like microsurgery on a chip, and it's made me wonder, like, why don't we have that for, like, you know, spinal cords and stuff like that? It seems like something it would actually be possible. But honestly, it seems like the medical field is lagging substantially behind high tech. And it's a very cool opportunity to speak to you before you become popular. You'll not be able to see our stupid chat. Well, there's as long as there's not bots spamming things, then I'll be able to see chats. Malicious Intent says, "Thanks, Rob." Thanks. I don't know what thanks for, but no problem. That seemed like a real person at first when they said "miss me." Yeah, I don't know. It could be like a hybrid thing or something. Yeah, it was on my to-do list to go back and like check, because they did that. It was a few days ago, actually. If you check the VODs for the streams in the last few days, I posted the timestamp of when they did that before. It was on my to-do list to go back and look at some of the chats from the previous days, because I think I may have talked to some of those bots or like those accounts. It might just be some kid or something. I think Network Chuck used to have a video about how to make a YouTube bot, but I can't find that video. It's probably hidden. But YouTube is probably very much bans and censors that kind of stuff. Neuralink is going to be streaming Nike commercials in our brains while we fall asleep. Yeah, that will probably when you go to buy a chocolate bar, it'll be like, "Do you agree to allow this company? You can have the cheap price for this thing if you just stream this into your brain, but If you don't want to have ads in your brain, then you have to pay the full price, which is 10 times more. For getting rid of bot spam? Okay. I think people would go into some kind of cyber psychosis, like that first cyberpunk show. Yeah, I don't know. You could argue that people already have some kind of like AI cyber psychosis, because a lot of people, I think one of the biggest impacts of all the AI garbage we have now, and like deepfakes and stuff, it's obvious. Like people say, like, oh, you can't trust what you see on the internet. That's the obvious thing, and people keep repeating that. But the consequence of that is there's so much content out there that people don't believe or they're suspicious of, but it's actually real content, and that's almost scarier. Is that when real things happen and people like take real pictures and videos and stuff like that, or like the news or the government comes out and says stuff, and everyone's like, I don't know if that's true. This might be fake. And I've already seen a lot of examples of that. People, quite a few people. I've gotten a number of comments of people trying to accuse me of using AI to make videos, because for a lot of the ones where I try to enunciate stuff well, I guess the voice sounds, smooth enough that people assume it's AI. But I don't use. I've not used AI in any of my videos. The only maybe exception is I use some Grok images for the daily posts, and I think I had like one live stream where I referenced a couple of those pictures. Thank you for your time and knowledge. No worries. Google Vivo 3 got me with a video of a kangaroo waiting to board a flight. Yeah, the latest, I don't know if it's Vivo 3 or which tool it is, but the latest round of AI video is incredible. Do you play video games? I try not to, because I get addicted to them. And I have too much work to do. I gotta work on making money and doing taxes. Are you good at LeetCode stuff? I'm too old for LeetCode. LeetCode existed after my my studying for algorithms for interviews was like consisted of Wikipedia and well, I don't know. I don't recall anyone ever studying LeetCode back when I was in the grind for jobs. You could do some gaming streams. I could, but then again, that's I don't know. I'd have to question like what am I doing with my life at that point if if I'm just streaming, playing video games. Like that's not to me that's not much of a career. There's tons of people out there who are actually doing. There are tons of more talented and younger video game streamers to contribute something a bit more unique. I'll try to just keep focused on actually building and producing something. Robert, you ever do any work that was focused on the infrastructure side of things for a tech company? Yes. I guess a lot of times I would. Yeah, because it depends on what you mean by how extensive the infrastructure changes would have been. Because a lot of times there was I would work on some like specific thing, but the intention was always to it's like eventually we're going to write version 2 of this software. We're going to re-architect this thing in a way, and some of those were like aspirational things that we worked toward improving the architecture, but we never quite got there. But infrastructure is a broad concept. Do you ever plan on making tutorial style video series, teaching, sharing your skills? I have thousands of ideas for videos, but I have the challenges, the time required to actually make the video. So right now my to-do list is to try and it's a challenge to bring in enough revenue to actually support all these things. So I made tutorials for years, but a lot of them don't make money. So I have to focus on the broader concepts, which actually pull in the views. Lately, I've had a whole bunch of other stuff to focus on, like the rent eviction hearing and other random errands and stuff I had to do. So that's why I was trying streaming every day for a while, just to collect some data on how much money it brings in. But with working on this, I'm also not working. I haven't been working on any new videos for a while. And I didn't want to start a new long form video because the hearing that I attended was just a couple of days ago, and it's too difficult to. I don't want to it's really hard to half complete a video and then get away from it and come back to it. But I might have some more time to do some of those videos in the near future. But then I also have to do my taxes, because that is coming up soon. And there's still a few other rent eviction things to work on. But I don't know. There's like a million things. I would say like the rate at which I think of things that I should do a video on is like 100 times greater than the rate at which I can actually make the videos. So I just have this like ever exponentially increasing list of videos to do that I will never get done. Just have AI do your taxes. It'd be nice. I don't think it's quite there yet. Didn't know rent eviction was a word till yesterday. I thought you'd been saying rent eviction. Nope, rent eviction. They're becoming a big profitable thing here in Ontario. Sorry about all the housing drama. I really hope the burden gets lifted. Yeah, I don't know. It's well, we had the hearing we had on the 26th. That was the third hearing that has been scheduled for this matter. So originally I had one that was scheduled, then they canceled it. They pulled me into a case management hearing, which was a thing to ask about like all the facts of this, similar to other things in the same building. And then we had that case management hearing. So that was hearing the first one got canceled. The second one we had, then we had the third one, that was the May 26th, and so we were going to call a new witness, but we ran out of time. So now we're just waiting. I don't know when they'll get back to us, but at some point they'll get back to us, and they will schedule the next hearing. So that'll be hearing number 4, just to figure out like, are these rent eviction notices bogus or not? Which is, I mean, in my view, the landlord has given us a rough time, but also the tenant board, I don't think is really helping, because they could have. I think there's enough evidence to just like dismiss it completely. But instead, we have to go through all these hearings. But either way, I don't know. I don't really care if like right now, I'm able to focus most of my time on other useful, productive work. But if I get evicted from here, a lot of the reasons that I came to live here don't really exist anymore. So it'd be kind of nice to go back home and visit my parents for a while, and then figure out the next step. Yeah, I had some kind of a type error. 115. Strange times. I thought this region was like tech capital for people with their skills. Yeah, it was. I remember the year before I came to the University of Waterloo. Bill Gates actually came. I didn't even really know about this. I just kind of thought, oh, Waterloo seems like a good place. And then Bill Gates came to the university, and it was like a big thing in the media and stuff. And also Stephen Hawking visited the place up here. They opened the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics. And so there definitely is Waterloo still is and has been a world-class university for engineering. But I would say it was up until 2015 that it seemed like the future was really good for this place. But since 2015, I think the single biggest factor that's really affected it is just we've had way too much immigration, and that is just everything about the system can't cope. And we've also we decreased all of the standards for admission standards, and if the immigration was somehow pegged to housing and actual demand for the people that we're bringing in, then I think things could cope a bit better. But that's one of the biggest ones that honestly it really hadn't been a problem until the pandemic. I think it was kind of weirdly high before that, but 2015 or so was kind of when I had my at least my mood and my perception of this place, the future of this place, was kind of at the peak, because it actually seemed it was pretty easy to go around and get contract work and stuff. And honestly, I haven't tried in the last year or two. I assume right now it's probably worse than ever. There are a few if you just want to get a 9-to-5 job, there are a few companies that I think are doing decent tech companies. Shopify is one of them. Back in the day, it was Research in Motion or BlackBerry. They were the kind of place everyone wanted to work. There's also Magnet Forensics. So there are a few tech companies around, but I don't know. I have higher ambitions than just working a 9-to-5 cubicle job. I just had to look up about what rent evictions are. That seems illegal AF. Yeah, it's basically is. But what are your ambitions? I want to independently start and run my own business. That was the goal 10 years ago, as I described in detail in my hour-long How to Become a 37-Year-Old Broke Loser video. Do you have connections though? I've learned that having connections matters a lot more than anything else. Whether you want a job or want success in entrepreneurship stuff. Yes, that is correct and important. The question is though, I think it's a bit more. I think the real answer is maybe a bit more nuanced. So, having connections is not like necessarily being in some mafia or something where you call up someone, you're like, hey, throw out all the resumes, and put me on the top of your list, like kind of straight up, nepotism, corruption style connections. It's more like if people will pick a known evil over an unknown evil. So if you just went to the same school as someone, even if you weren't really friends with them, that's a way to get into those things. One important question though is like, how do you actually even obtain those connections? Now, I thought that I could get some of those connections by just doing like networking, like going to networking events, talking about what I do, advertising my services, and then doing good work and demonstrating what I can do. But what I found, like if you just go to like random networking events, most of the people there, I would say that I would not classify them as like necessarily bad. Like they don't have bad intent. There's just like there's so many clueless entrepreneurs out there who have no idea what they're doing, and if they hire you as their consultant to get started on this stuff, then you're gonna network with them. You're gonna develop connections, but the quality of those connections is not good. And then you can go work in industry, but the problem is industry is like, I don't know if you've worked at any like Amazon or Nvidia or something like that, but the secrecy and the confidentiality is like extremely high. So unless you go and work at one of those places for like 30 years or something, and you develop like really, really close connections with someone over a long time, and also, these people like kind of, they would need to leave the company or something. Most of them won't really talk to you. Like I did actually make some connections and had some, positive interactions with people at some of these companies. And I would always try and like follow up with them. I read all the like networking books about like how to win friends and influence people and stuff like that. And, putting myself in those shoes, like when I was working at those companies, if I got an email from someone I like who was outside the company, I'd probably be like, I don't really know them that well. Maybe they're trying to steal trade secrets or something, or, it's not a, and also like most of the coworkers I had at these companies, they're not really, most of them are not even like entrepreneurial at all. Like they have no interest in doing, they have no interest in doing anything beyond cubicle work. What will your company be? So my company was, I started off doing custom software development. So I did some, if you watch my other videos, I went through all the contracts and stuff that I had. I recently started watching some videos. Initially I saw your How to Become a 37-Year-Old Broke Loser. And I was wondering if you ever considered going down to the States for work. So going down there as a full-time worker at a company is doable for sure. Like I had offers to do that, and I chose to stay here instead. Now going there to get contract work, for that I need a visa to if I physically go down there and move down there and stay down there, then I need a visa for it. A option would be I could have like flown down there and done some networking and stuff, but I've never even really had enough disposable cash to like, be flying around the country or something like that. It's always been, I get a little bit of traction on something and save a bit of savings, and then things go sideways, and it's just been kind of like a reset every 3 years for, the last 10, 11 years. The other thing is, I think down like in the valley area, it is a bit better than it is up here, but the same kind of like if you just go to a random networking event, well, actually, I don't know if you've ever seen, I haven't watched this whole series, but I have seen the clips. The show Silicon Valley, that like sitcom or whatever. That show has the most accurate depiction of like tech entrepreneur people that I've ever seen anywhere. Like there's no like the kind of personality archetypes and stuff about like just crazy startup ideas and like, you know, insincerity and so like it is possible to get a good client on there, but unless you have it's very easy to end up in a business relationship with someone who's just going to waste your time, which is I have many examples of that in my videos. I've heard of many people going down to initially work a 9-to-5 at a good paying tech company to build up capital. Yeah, and I mean, with the benefit of hindsight, I do think that would have been superior strategies to build up some, just work at a place like that for a year, build up a bit of capital. It would, I think, financially, if I'd done that, I would have been better off. But if I had a bit more capital, I probably would have, I mean, it's hard to say what I would have done. I probably would have wasted a lot more money initially starting off. And I'm not sure if I would have pursued exactly the same path of like trying to use that capital to start the consulting company a bit more. But I think if I did, I probably still would have, it probably still would have worked out poorly. I probably would have wasted too much money on advertising or something. It's worse than Silicon Valley. It's what's worse, the PA area or Kitchener-Waterloo? I struggle to find relevant networking events. I found this local C++ group in KW on Meetup, but that looks dead. Also, I binged 3 seasons of Silicon Valley. It's great and sad at times. Okay, so you're in the KW area. Interesting. Yeah, actually, you know what? I think the last time, so I actually hosted a meetup group for a while on there, and that was kind of that was when I was trying to bootstrap some other entrepreneurial idea, and I was just getting some feedback. For a while, I almost thought there might be a business model in hosting those meetups, and then maybe having like, I don't know, charge people some money per attendance or something. But it was quite. I didn't have a physical place to host it. Actually, I rented. You can rent rooms at the library, so I rent just to test it out, see like how many people would come and collect data points, get some connections. Actually, after doing that, I thought that actually seemed. That actually probably would have been a decent way. If I was gonna if I had to keep doing what I was doing, I probably would try doing something like that. To get local stuff, but then also producing content online and like live streaming. Like right now, there's 22 concurrent viewers, so 22 people are here watching this, and I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to rent rooms, and get super chats and stuff like that. So I think the long-term sustainability of just doing this seems like it might be the next big thing. Also, thanks for your videos and insight. I appreciate you sharing your experiences. Yeah, if you're really interested in like the contract consulting stuff, I have a few more videos on that. I should make a playlist actually. I have a few more videos on the. If you just go to my channel and search in like consulting, I have a few more videos that I think are actually like, in my opinion, that they have some pretty good knowledge, but they get like almost no views just because that's how the algorithm works. What I saw in the last 2 consulting gigs I did was a bigger waste of money on development and absurdity that I think can be depicted. Silicon Valley show depicted people actually producing software successfully. Sorry, I realize I need more context to my comments. Yeah, the amount of like absurdity and waste and stuff like that is just incredible in the industry. I really think it's quite unique. Like, and I don't think people quite understand how insane the software development industry is, because like I kind of thought about starting my business would be similar to like, people start an independent plumbing business or something. And if you just like say, hey, I'm a plumber, I have a plumbing business. Someone calls you and says like, hey, I have a leak in my pipe. Can you fix the leak? It is possible to fix the leak in that pipe. And now if you contrast that with software engineering, though, if you say I build software, then the amount of proposals you'll get for things that are just absurd and where failure is guaranteed from day one is just way the probability that the project will never be successful and never make money is just so much higher. Whereas with like plumbing or concrete work or something like that, there's a very specific thing to do, and so it just leads to way more waste and lots of time spent chasing people that won't pay you. And someone hired me to replace garbage disposal and is experiencing a reverse renovation. Apparently in California, you can sue if you didn't get 2 days notice, then not pay rent during the suit. Interesting. You can sue if you don't get 2 days notice. Two days notice for what? For being evicted? Micro dosing. I have no opinion on that. Waste is encouraging to me. Means the bar is low. Yeah, honestly, if there's one bit of optimism to have about the software development industry, it does mean like if you are a totally incompetent moron who can't write software, there's a lot of companies that won't even notice. So no matter how bad you are, there's a lot of companies that will hire you. And another thing, like, it's almost two different worlds. The people actually know how to write software and the people who run businesses and hire people to write software. There's it's not surprising to be. I've seen before where so-called founders would hire someone who has a degree in embedded systems and ask them to write web software, which is like, a ridiculous waste of time. If you did your career focusing on embedded systems, like you could probably figure out how to write web software, but it's the tools and stuff and all that stuff is totally different. Stop this. Be gatekeeping. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. 48 hours notice of entry for any purpose, including maintenance requests. Okay. Oh, interesting. So you can it's kind of almost like a technicality. If they come in for some random reason, you can just get free rent for a while. That's kind of bending the rules a bit. All right, let's try to make this compile. Tom Flynn says, "Hey, what are you doing? What exactly are you working on with that code, if you don't mind me asking?" I'll show you if I can get it to compile here. It is a long cannot be converted to this. Okay. We got our split title, enumerate frame options. So it is a game that you can play on the terminal. Oh my god. It's a game that you can play on the terminal where you simulate the process of mining blocks by spamming the M key. So this is what it looks like. You wander around and you spam the M key. You mine blocks, and they show up over there in your inventory. Actually, you know what? I must have some. I made some changes to the UI printing last night. The cursor is going crazy. I think I have a regression in it. Yeah, that's an issue. But anyway, that's what it looks like. And what I was just working on is a thing. I'm working on this menu to that'll allow me to move things around. So I'm going to kind of change the order. Yeah, so the goal will be to move that to the right or left. I decided to write a full detailed letter of the events, including the presumed consent to enter from the tenant during our communications. Yeah, documentation is always good to have. I'm not from SWE or CSE background, but enjoy it a lot. Computer architecture, programming, building stuff. So I'm trying to pivot into becoming a dev. Ever work with devs from non-CS background? I have on occasion. I know a lot of people who kind of come from out who don't have a formal degree in it. A lot of them have kind of like an inferiority complex that they, didn't get the same degree as other people. But in my experience, if someone is intrinsically motivated to, like, at least among other developers, someone who's intrinsically motivated to write software is almost certainly in the long run is going to be a very good contributor if they actually want to do the stuff they're doing. Whereas compared with I don't think actual business managers and stuff appreciate that quite as much, and they just think about people's, like, robots. They want someone with the degree or whatever. But now it also one implication is that communication with someone who doesn't have a degree might be more difficult, because one of the main things the degree gives you that people don't appreciate as much is a standardized communication So if you talk about like formal data structures or something like if you say that something is like a map, or one good example would be stuff like graph theory, where there's really specific concepts that are really important, like runtime complexity. Like if I say that this program is like runs in exponential time, or we'll say we can't write this way because it has exponential time complexity. That has a very specific meaning, and if someone has a degree, they might appreciate that a bit more, or something like this program has an issue because it creates graphs that have cycles. That might just sound like jargon to someone, but it has a specific meaning. And if you took a course on graph theory, then you know exactly what that means and why it can be a problem. Whereas if you kind of come from outside the industry, if you haven't done the formal education, that it'll be it might be a bit harder to communicate. But honestly, like if you just take it takes time to learn it in the first place anyway. So if you just learn as you go, then eventually you'll absorb all the same knowledge. Malicious intent, you aren't getting a response. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of am suspicious if he has malicious intent. It's crazy how much code goes into something so simple. I would have never guessed. Yeah, I also overcomplicate things, so never actually coded in Java, just saw snippets in books. Well, this is the real thing. All right, everyone, I have to go to sleep. No idea why my brain is always more active at nights. Sucks to want to do stuff, but you have to sleep. Have a good night. Have a good night. Malicious intent. Where's all your comments? All my comments? That's a comment right there. I guess my code is probably, could be, if I was writing it for consumption by other people, I'd probably make it more, write better documentation. I changed a lot of stuff around, so I have to end up with comments that are out of date. Just teasing. I think it's a valid comment though. So what are we doing today? Today we're working on adding some new options to the help menu for the block mining simulation game, so I can rotate frames around. Yeah, the goal will just be to make it just so I can move a frame up or down or right to left. I have fairly large comment blocks and horizontal lines to split sections. Probably too much the other way. ASCII art practically. I think it depends what you're writing. Some code is like self-documenting, and then other stuff is like if you're writing like a mathematical function. If it's like physics simulations or something, you can have like 5 lines of code, but it makes sense to have like a massive, like a full page description of like an algorithm and then a proof that the algorithm works. couple years ago, I made custom RGB to HSV routines. And they ended up 50% comments. Yeah, some stuff. I mean, like a perfect example would be like if you're writing assembly language. I think for assembly language, it makes sense for it to be like 90% comments, because the code is just like move AX BX. But that you have to like actually describe what you're doing. is Vitalik Buterin a role model or a success story or nah? I'm not familiar with that name. Seems more like a right place, right time. I don't know. That's the only. I have no input on this topic. The Ethereum guy? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I would recognize him. I don't know. With all the in basically all of the cryptocurrency stuff, there's a lot of really funny business going on, and I'm not really sure. Not really sure what's going on there. I think it's more to it than just what you read about it in headlines. Are you also working on the game off stream? I guess, yeah, I have been. Most of it is on stream, but I'm working a little bit. Sometimes at night I'll go to bed a bit early. I'll kind of quit in the middle of a bug, and then I'll wake up the next day and I'll be like, damn, I gotta fix that bug, and then I'll merge it in and push it for the next day. Funds for world domination. That's something I can support. Excellent. It's going to be very expensive. I'm thinking I need to raise at least 12 billion to get started. I got to start my own country. It's going to be a lot of work. I think that billion needs a T. Maybe long term. All power to you. Let's get it. Yeah, I think the strategy is if I can get a few billion, then I can. Then what I can do is just get a loan from a private equity firm, and then I can just buy things and change all the rules to make them favor me. I could just buy a country, and then I could restructure the assets of that country, and then I could just take all the assets of that country, put them in one corporation, and then just declare bankruptcy, and then I get to keep all the assets. Don't have to pay back the loans. So I'm making classes like this. This is one of those people always asking me about AI. This exact situation is a situation where I'm like, I could probably use AI to do this automatically for me. If you need 12 billion, the super chat should be for 17.5 billion per 30% cut. Yeah, that's a good point. And as a smart man, remember me when you run the world. I will. I'll make a note. Thank you for the kind words, Omid Javidi. And why am I here? It's because the YouTube algorithm has decided to send you here. It's decided that you're interested in Linux, command line, computer programming. You're probably a student, maybe studying engineering. And sometimes you may just be a blessed individual, and the internet thinks you would make a good software engineer. Right? Google thinks that. But I don't watch Revenge of the Nerd stuff. I'm not sure what that means. Revenge of the Nerd stuff. Is that a show? Icy says hello. How's it going? Wow, that's going back. Oh, you mean it's something, a reference to something from a long time ago? I'm an arborist. An arborist, that's someone who removes trees, if I remember correctly. So you go up trees and cut them down? Or is that what an arborist is? I'm waiting for something to happen. How do you stay inside all day and do this? That's the career path of a software engineer. Honestly, I would say my optimal preference would be to do a bit of both, to have like some physical work outside, like go out and do some kind of low intensity physical stuff, like split some wood or yard work, and then come in and code for a while. That would be like I think perfect for mental and physical health. But I don't know if there's a lot of careers that would actually allow you to do that. To do a bit of like a few hours of intellectual work and then a few hours of physical work. Too much of both is too much of either one is not pleasant. I would like to wire you $12 billion for the purchase of a deep water port. However, my banking associate is in Monaco at the races. For now, I shall give you a thumbs up. That's close enough. Harris says, "What's up? How's it going? Isn't using exceptions take so much resources compared to use of return variables for error handling?" I have a like throws exception on everything. Just because I find for like debuggability, it's nice to be able to have deeply buried exceptions. If I actually had to optimize something, I would consider not throwing an exception on it. But I tend to write my code. I try to write it like, what is going to be the fastest to like get the software written correctly, so that I can debug it. Because if you're trying to like squeeze as much, CPU cycles, that really doesn't matter, except for some cases where, like, to optimize some of the printing to the screen, I did have to go in and like, I was doing way too many like map sorts and stuff, and so I optimizing the compare to function actually ended up substantially making it faster. An arborist is a type of pervert from an Arbor, Michigan. I don't know what that means. Keep trying, bud. This isn't 5th grade. I don't even know. I guess it's a joke. I don't even know. I don't get the joke. What exactly are you doing? I am adding support for the ability to move frames around at runtime. So if you want to go into the help menu, you can move a frame right or left. I'm going to do that now because it's that can actually help me debug some stuff. Zero coding a game? Yes. Yeah, the thing you just saw on screen, that is the extent of it. Let me think. Next thing is don't insult the guy who's really good with the chainsaw. That's good advice. I've been trying to get into Roblox scripting. You think it's a good idea? I have no knowledge of that at all. I do know there's like Roblox is really big. There's a lot of people that spend a lot of money in it. It's there's a big ecosystem for it, but I have no idea. I've never played it. I never met anyone who works with that stuff. Bro, tomorrow is my React exam. And Next.js, I can't even pass test cases. Bro, what should I do? Bro. I don't know, bro. It's a good question. I don't know. I've used React.js since a long time. It keeps changing all the time. I started using it like 2014 or something, but I don't want backlogs. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but this whole like next.js thing, actually I kind of stopped doing web development because the whole industry keeps changing too much, and I can't keep track of everything. Like it used to be just React, and they were doing like React hooks, which I don't know if that's a thing anymore. And then the Next.js was a thing, and yeah, it just makes my head spin. So I'm glad I'm also not. There's too many things to know, and also npm is like a pile of garbage. It's always like weird bugs and stuff. You just have to like memorize the bugs. Basically all web software is just very poorly designed and constructed. When you say that AI is important for the job, do you mean learning the AI dev or use in automation and all that stuff? AI is important for the job. I mean, it's like it's in a hype cycle right now. So if you have AI, it's like every 3 or 4 years, some topic is like the popular thing that companies want to hire for. So if you go for something that is, if you just know what's popular at the moment, like in a few years, it might even be something different. So in that respect, you can just kind of research what companies are keywords they're looking for, and then try to optimize resumes and stuff for that. Having said that, though, like it's not a good career strategy to always chase whatever's a fad, like whatever's the fad at the moment. There are some people who do that, and they just go from one fad to another. But if you do happen to have any skills in it, then it's of course good to put that out there. Tools with MCP is about 6 months old. Is the new hotness, multi-agent A2A stuff. Yeah, MCP, I guess that's Model Context Protocol. That's what I've been hearing a lot about. And from what I understand, from what I've seen playing around with AI, the biggest issue I have with AI is it seems to just not, it's not connecting. Like the large language model stuff, like the stuff that was the most expensive and difficult, is amazing, but the actual the interface to be able to use it, or to be able to tell the AI to like talk to the right thing, like I was thinking about maybe using the IntelliJ IDE plugin for something, and people are complaining like they would ask it about a file and it would select the wrong file. And if I want to use one of these tools, I don't want to have to screw around wasting time with that stuff. And I think Model Context Protocol was, someone proposed that as the thing that I guess fixes that problem. Ethan says, hello, how's it going? And sort of only now getting popular. I hate AI dev. I am more into DevOps and SysDev. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, I mean, there may even be, with DevOps too, there may be some AI stuff with like monitoring. I think a big part of DevOps would be like, heartbeat monitors and stuff to like check on a system. And there's probably AIs now to like predict failure of your system. Like if there's, if there's a transient, actually probably, a part of DevOps would be security, and I think security would have a lot of AI stuff in it, like stuff looking for like threat detection, like strange patterns of access patterns and all kinds of stuff like that. Well, I don't want to reappear in this exam. You got like $40 round. They got fines like $40 round, which is like someone's 2 days salary. They got a website which counts how many times I changed the tabs. Which could give me a tool to switch tabs and copy paste. Sorry, I can't help you on that. You mean like the IDS and the IPS? Yeah, intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. Bro, I'm from India. Won't nothing happen to you? You can help. I don't know if someone in the chat knows of some tool that'll help that guy. Then what's he looking for? Something to switch tabs and to copy. You're trying to cheat on a. It's like an interview or something you're trying to cheat on. As a DevOps, I like to learn security, but people will tell me that I have to keep it. So the cybersecurity guy, we don't know how to set up Zeek. Yeah, I think today, if you want to be effective, it's like something, knowing about security is important for basically every role. You can't just outsource security to one person. If you want to be, effective. No LSP, no autocomplete. This guy is living raw. Yeah, I'm trying to go the other way, actually. I don't, I learned, I'm still just, I've been busy the last couple of years. It's interesting. AI coding has only existed for like 2 years now, but suddenly all the new developers have been using it for years. I have no experience with it. I feel like I'm assisting something important. Yep, you're assisting my world domination plans. Learn reaction. You can pass without cheat codes. That's a good plan. We sit in a lab with one investigator and he circles around 40 people. Yeah, I don't know. You're looking for some tool to change tabs. Just count how many times I change tabs. A tool so I can switch tabs and copy code. Is that Vim? Yes. All right, this is one of those cases where it probably makes sense to fire up the IDE. The only thing I don't like about just coding this way in Vim is I don't have, I can't use the, what is it, IntelliSense or something? I gotta look up the docs on the array list element manipulation. I'm really struggling with Copilot. I hate it. It makes the workflow 0.5x. So we keep popping up things I don't even want. Most of the time, it's garbage. So for last year, I used NVim. Yeah, I honestly have not tried it a lot. I have too many other things on the go at the moment. You're not supposed to use tabs with Vim? Really? It's the first I've heard of that. Bro, I can't learn React in one day. Their test cases are super hard. If you do one syntax error, they will fail the whole code, giving 0 marks. I know it's pretty rough. You just gotta stay up all night and learn React. You're meant to use buffers and marks. I think I learned that a while ago. I did learn to use marks. Isn't marks mainly for like if you wanna like copy arbitrary sections and stuff? There's a lot of advanced features of Vim. I learned a lot of the advanced features and then I forgot them because I found that I just didn't use them a lot. I'm so done with life. I'm using Vim 2. Well, that's good. I think if you use Vim, your future is good. I used to use brainstorming IDs, but felt weird. I don't even know what that is. Brains. Oh, brain. Is that the like a brand name? Brainstorm. I've not heard of that before. With marks, you navigate from a specific line in file X to another line in file Y. Marks can be local to the same file or global for entire file system. Okay. Yeah, I probably learned that at one point, but then I just didn't. I just never used it, and I forgot it. Bro's using IntelliJ. Yeah, I can't remember. Once I get into the code here. Let me think. How do I Control F? Will that find? I'm looking for. always forget how to find a file. New file or directory. What distro do you use? I usually just use Ubuntu if I want to get stuff done. Can I be honest, as I am in my second year? BTech, CSE graduation, year of college. They're asking which specific specialization should I choose? They give options like game design, full stack development, cybersecurity. That's a good question. I think it makes sense to pick whatever is the most likely to get jobs. So I don't. You said you were in India, I think. I have no idea what the market is like where you are or what. And it also depends. Like, so those are titles. So like there's game design, full stack development, cybersecurity. But the real question is like how. What is the actual program? So like a cybersecurity course at one university or institution is totally different from another place. So at one place, the cybersecurity program might be garbage. At another place, the game design program might be better, or maybe full stack. So you can take that into consideration. It's like how good is I would say if you can, ask around and try to find out which of those programs has the highest employment rate. If you can find any information on that, like just ask around or find stats, and then pick the one where you're most likely to get a job. That's not what I wanted. Open file. Project. Why is it so hard to just find a file? Control F. I search for that and it doesn't show. As Ukrainian, can I get a Canadian citizenship? I'm not sure. I'm not the right person to ask that question. I'm sure there's an immigration pathway. We did have quite a few immigrants who came from Ukraine, especially around the start of the war. Robert, did you get my message yesterday? Where did you send the message? Was it here in the chat, or was it on another platform? On X? Probably not. I don't check. I think a lot of them go into like hidden or something like that. But I'll make a note to go check. Full stack got the highest, but in the future, I want to go international, bro. TBH. I don't like living here. I'm scared. Might take full stack or something wrong. Might be stuck in India my whole life. Pay is so much undervalue for programming, like in Canada. Have you watched my video on immigration? So I know a lot of people come here from India because they think it's a lot more rosy here than it actually is. And so if you do try to immigrate, make sure you don't get scammed, because there's a lot of people who come from India who get like totally scammed, and there's tons of people here trying to take advantage of immigrants. Hirsch says, hey, how's it going? Where's the function list? I have 0 CSE. I am comfortable working in TypeScript and Rust, building procedural trading bot. I've learned more by doing than any courses studying I've done. Oh, it's like index of or something. Index of. took university to learn. College, the way they teach is making me hate it. But in India, companies value a degree, not skills. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to suggest. Things are bad everywhere these days. If you do try to come to Canada, make sure you do your research and don't get scammed. Too bad no second monitor. Put that documentation. He needs super chats. Oh yeah, I set my goal. I still haven't reached my goal. I don't trust any company. I use AI tools. I just build. Eventually it clicks together. Basic theory needed. I recommend data structure and algorithm, then pick up any language and just build anything. You make it sound very easy. What is your goal? My goal, or someone in chat. The goal here is just to rearrange some stuff. To rearrange in the list. That should basically work. $3.25. Oh no, the super goal. I think I made it like, I made it like the smallest goal I could. It was like $2 or something. I just thought I've never tried that feature before. That I just added a goal for fun. It's easy. Just do it. The theory only get you so far. I am comfortable writing binary search and such. That's good. Binary search. Can you do binary search tree deletion? I am currently fracturing the earth. How goes? Oh, you are. Yes, you are indeed fracturing the earth. That's good. That's a very profitable endeavor to fracture the earth and extract the valuable contents within. Well, my senior friend is pursuing his degree in Canada. Well, if you have someone who's here, then you can learn how to avoid getting scams. There's a ton of people here that take advantage of basically everyone. It says the timer ended on your goal. I don't know this. Oh yeah, that's probably right. I think I set like the smallest goal with the longest time. So I think I set a goal of like $2 in 3 hours or something. I just like test out the feature, see if it see what it does and see what it looks like. Like, bro, imagine if I come to Canada where I need to go apply for a job. Like, bro, imagine if I come to Canada where I need to go apply for a job to sustain a living. I don't have to imagine that. There's thousands and thousands of people here who've done exactly that. There's if you come to Brampton, here it's just like being in India. Not yet. I used binary search. L for algebra math. Well, you got to learn binary search tree deletion. That's the critical one. Algebra. Oh, I guess for I guess just for binary search. But binary search trees, those are the real fun. That's where the real fun starts. Okay, let's try and see what this does. Move split. Move rotate left. Did not find child. G and B are in close proximity to the keyboard. I think it was that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess he probably just meant binary search. I was thinking binary search trees. So with binary search, you can code that in like a few lines, I think. Move split. So the parent is 2. And the child is 0. Parent is 2. Child is 0. Oh, that makes sense because And that's why. Because it contains objects, not IDs. I'm sure I'll get there eventually. I'm doing accurate auto market maker math down to 9 decimals using integer math only. Interesting. I'm not familiar with that. Alright, I should go before I cause an accident that could cost over $1 million. That's a good idea. See you later, Squeak. But I have 0 CS background. Well, it sounds like you're making some good headway, learning it on your own. Do you have a degree of some sorts? How was it like for you? Search for a job? Was the salary sustainable in the start of your career? I have a degree in software engineering, and I worked in the US for a while. I worked at Amazon and Nvidia and some places, and it was definitely better back then. No degree, no university. I work for myself, fixing electronics. This is a side hustle. Yeah, that's good. You're broadening your horizons. I'm taking notes. School makes learning boring and a task that you have to complete on time. Learning is beautiful. I learn every day. It's a good attitude. There are tons of people like you who basically earn 10 cents a day, 0.01 cents a day, bringing liquidity to the markets. Do you need a bot to trade with this amount of volatility? My favorite algorithm is probably the Chanverse level at formulation for segmentation. Chanverse level set formulation for segmentation. Is that a very specific math concept? It's useful for segmenting 2D and 3D images, but also anything that's really expressible as a graph. It's a graph cut optimization thing. Oh, okay. It sounded kind of like an esoteric math thing. I hadn't heard of it before. Those in images, the node edges are adjacent pixels, voxels. That makes sense. I guess modulo in Java must not wrap negatives to positive. I would not fix electronic if I lived in India. They fix anything for very little money. I watch videos from India all the time. Some smart people over there. Yeah, I've seen some of those too. There are some pretty resourceful people, especially when you don't have to comply with safety standards and stuff. I agree though. Never stop learning. School is probably too slow and too late for students. It's yes. Yeah, it's all, I think the quality of school, depending on what school you go to, but a lot of it's going down over time. Wow, look at that. It works. Nice. Now I think if I open a new frame, it probably won't do what I want, but no, it's not right. But the basic thing seems to work. Imagine I'm on my dad's salary, dependent. He's in the army. Our salary is 808 Canadian dollars. I could be taking a loan to come to Canada or something. What do you think of JT wearing sneakers to the King's speech? Oh, that's different. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say if definitely research. I mean, watch my video on immigration if you're planning to come here. I think they're dramatically decreasing the amount of immigration they're letting in because we let in way too many people. And it's decreasing living standards for even the recently arrived immigrants here are not doing great. What do you think of JT wearing sneakers to the King's speech? I have no knowledge of that. I didn't watch any of that news coverage. It's funny how we have the same king living in England since 2014. Oh yeah, it is kind of funny. John says hi. Technically the King of Canada, King of England are separate entities, roles, but they're both King Charles. Okay, that's interesting. So technically we could have our own separate king then. Robert, you worked at some nice firms. I wish only of them hires me. What's up my life? Yeah, it's there's lots of competition for those jobs now. So many professors are telling me that I don't have to understand the internals of a language, and I can get paid even if I do copy and paste. By the way, cool UI. Thanks. Yeah, I would say companies do they put you through a lot of rigorous interviews and stuff, but a lot of companies are incompetent and they don't know how to hire people. So I know people personally who are total idiots who are really bad programmers, and they can get hired accidentally. So no matter how bad you are, if you keep grinding away, you can even if you're bad, if you just try enough, eventually you'll be able to get in somewhere, and then you can get experience. What is this all about? This is work on my block mining simulation game, which you can see right here. So if I close this frame, yeah, so it's a game where you wander around and you spam the M key to mine blocks, just like that. A job will not make you happy. Yeah, that's true, I guess. I'm in security of my family. You can just leave them with a job. We'll provide the security. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say. There's, I mean, things are difficult for everybody in the world right now. It's not clear. There's lots of people who will tell you like, oh, just do this or just do that, but you know, they don't. If it doesn't work out for you, they don't take any responsibility for the consequences. All right, I got some progress done tonight. I got one new feature for actually manipulating the UI a bit, so I think I'll probably call it a night, and we'll be back tomorrow. So have a good night, guys.